Hey, and welcome to Rehab My Soul. I am Lamiski, your host, and today we are going to meet Ashley. Ashley is a mother, Ashley is a wife, and she's also a survivor of domestic violence. She joins me on this episode to tell her story of healing over 12 years of emotional trauma that manifested as chronic pain in her body. She shares her process and what it took to reverse her back pain and fully reclaim her power to remain pain-free. So, let's get into it. Hey, Ashley. So, thanks so much for joining me. I am excited to hear your story and your journey about how you healed yourself. So, can you go ahead and just tell me that story?
Yes, of course. So when I was a teenager, I was in an abusive relationship for a few years. And then shortly after it ended, I started experiencing low back pain. I was 21, and in 1 month, I threw my back out twice. And both of those times, I was like down for the count for 3 days. I couldn't walk, I had to call out of work. So obviously, at the age of 21, throwing my back out twice in 1 month is a little bit concerning. So I went to the doctor, and they did an X-ray, and they said the only thing that they could tell that was wrong was that I had bulging on my L4 and L5. And so they said it was really bad for somebody of my age, and they referred me to physical therapy. So I did physical therapy for about 8 to 10 weeks. And I try to do the exercises at home, but I was 21 and they're pretty boring. There are a lot of do this over and over. And so the pain never really went away. It was kind of always with me. And I continued to throw my back out 1 to 2 times a year, always doing just something random, nothing crazy. It would be like sneezing or coughing. It wasn't like I was lifting up heavy things or anything. It would be just everyday activities. One of the times I threw my back out, it was getting my oldest out of the bathtub when he was about 15 months, which also made me scared of getting my kids out of the bathtub for forever because I always worried, oh, am I going to throw my back out now? And so this continued on for about 8 years. And then I decided to try yoga. I thought maybe yoga will help, all the stretching, all that. So I started yoga, and about after doing it for like 2 months, about 4 to 5 times a week, the pain started to go away. And so the pain was gone for about a year. And then I ended up having to stop going to that yoga studio. My son was 3.5 at the time. I was 20 weeks pregnant with my second. And for whatever reason, my oldest child no longer liked going into the daycare. He would just come out running. And so I had to stop going to the yoga studio. It was too hard to get there on the weekends because I was also working at night at a restaurant. So within 6 months of not doing yoga 4 to 5 times a week, the pain came back, and it came back completely as bad as it was before in like a month from the beginning tinglings of my back hurting. So this went on for about another year and a half. And in 2020, in the summer of 2020, I started writing in like my little manifestation journal. I have been back pain free since 2020. And that was just one of my goals, was to somehow be back pain free. And about a few months later, I started hearing about how emotional trauma could be stored in your body as physical pain. And when I first heard this, I thought it was a little bit crazy because it just didn't make sense. I didn't understand how something emotional could be stored in my body as physical pain. And I didn't really believe it. But at this point, it had been 12 years of pain minus that 1 year from the yoga. And I was over it. I was having trouble buckling my youngest into his car seat. Every time I would bend over to like put him in, I could feel the twinge in my back, like it was about to give out. When I would lay him down in his crib, I would put him in and then kind of drop him the last 8 inches because I couldn't bend over all the way without the like fear of my back throwing out. So I was so tired of the pain, and I kind of opened myself up to the possibility that maybe my trauma from the abusive relationship was still causing me physical pain. And so I ended up in a course, and the course was, was about manifestation. And I went into this course thinking, okay, I'm just going to learn how to manifest whatever I want in my life, and didn't think much further than that. And it was an 8-week course. And inside of the course, there was a lot of healing, a lot of deep healing. So we did some inner child meditations. We did some cord cutting. There was a lot of journaling. I wrote an angry and not nice letter to my abuser. I said all the things that I wanted to say. And then I ended up finding the growth in it, like how what he did changed me for the better. And I found a lesson out of it. And then I did like the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer. I do not know how to say it, but I did that one. I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, I forgive you. Yeah. And then I burned that letter, and kind of like transmuted the energy of that. The cord cutting one was really, really powerful too. I remember when I like used my imaginary knife and I cut the cords, I felt them snap, and there was a lot of crying, a lot of emotions, and about 4 to 5 weeks of doing this inner work and really connecting and feeling it all and releasing it all. My pain just disappeared. It was there one day, and then the next day it was gone. And at first I was nervous. I thought, okay, it's just going to come back next week. And I was kind of still in like a disbelief mode. Like, is this real? Is this really happening? And then a couple months went by and I was like, okay, it's still gone. And I still kind of kept it to myself. I think I was worried that people would think that I had been making up the pain for 12 years, because I myself had believed that there's no way that it's possible. And like, I didn't think that people would believe that I was actually in pain all of those years if they saw like that I made my pain go away. Anyways, that was in October of 2020, and now it's March of 2022, and it's stayed away. There have been some times when it's popped up and I'm like, oh, my back is starting to hurt a little bit, but I don't go, maybe I should stretch, or maybe I slept on it wrong. I go, what am I feeling inside? And I go to my emotions first, and I'm like, okay, I've been thinking a lot about my ex, or like, I've been feeling a certain way. We had gone to Vegas, which is a place we had gone when we were teenagers. And so I went recently in November, and it was a little bit triggering for me and brought up a whole lot of emotions. And so I kind of had to sit with that and deal with that and release that all again. And then the pain went away. So it's like, if my back starts to hurt, I go, why am I feeling this? What emotions am I feeling, and how can I use the tools that I've learned to kind of release it?
Wow.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at now, feeling really in tune with my body and my emotions.
Wow. I think it's awesome. I think it's so beautiful. And congratulations on that healing, and having the openness to be able to even just consider and accept that you can be healed in that way. It's just amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That is so inspirational. So I believe it's the Ho'oponopono is the Hawaiian practice that you're talking about. Yeah.
I didn't even want to attempt to say
it. Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. So what did you feel in that manifestation course? What was the thing, or was it equal for all of the different areas of healing? What was the thing that you feel like really cracked you open in that healing process?
I think it was the forgiveness. And that one was really hard to do. But in it, I learned that forgiveness is not saying, I forgive what you did, it's okay. It's not saying that what he did was right, because it's not right. It's still not right. But it's just acknowledging that it happened and releasing it from my body, because by not forgiving and by staying angry, I'm only hurting myself. I don't know what he's thinking or what he's feeling. We have no contact. So I don't know if he's feeling any sort of remorse or if he even thinks about it. But I know it was affecting me. And so by just forgiving him and releasing that energy, I think that's what really helped just get it out of my body and let it stop hurting me.
Yeah. Wow. So when you said that you were able to pull a lesson out of it, what lesson is there to learn from being in an abusive relationship? Like, what was your lessons, if you want to share that part?
Yeah, yeah, of course. So the lesson that I'm gathering from it is that it made me it made me kinder. It made me a nicer person. It made me not want to hurt anybody. And it also made me want to help others. So I want to help people who have been in that situation, help them to heal, especially knowing now how it still caused me so much pain for 12 years. And now I want to raise awareness for that because I didn't know that. And I'm sure there's lots of other women who are experiencing chronic pain or stomach issues or anxiety. I have really bad PTSD. I'm sure there's lots of women who are experiencing it. I kind of want to bring awareness to it and let people know, like, if you're feeling this and you have trauma, there's another way. You don't have to live with this pain anymore. You don't have to live in the suffering, and you can forgive and release and move on and thrive.
Wow. That's amazing. So it sparked that mission, so to speak, that purpose inside of you to want to be helpful and kind and help others heal because of the pain that you went through, not a reason to shrink away from helping others, but more so a reason to move toward helping others. That's beautiful. So, what are you working on now? Like, where are you taking that mission and how can I support you in that?
Yeah, right now I just started my own coaching business a couple months ago, and I'm creating a manifestation course to, help others to manifest a life of ease and abundance and provide the support while they do that. And this year, I have plans to just learn as much as I can about trauma, about the effects on our bodies, and all the healing modalities. I am in a coaching certification program. So I will be going through Reiki and chakra healing and all of that and getting my certifications so that I can help others in a more impactful way.
Awesome. So, are you providing your services, of course, online, right? And virtual healing and all that stuff?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I would love to definitely link to whatever you have going on and let others hear about it and know that when people work with you, they're working with someone that has gone through this, not someone that just understands the book theory of healing, but we've actually put these things into practice in our own lives. And I think that is so important as we move to work with others is to relate to them in that way because it's a sisterhood that we don't want to be a part of, but we were kind of pushed into, and we can turn that into something so much more beautiful than what we went through. That's amazing. I have my own stories of abuse and trauma and all that stuff, but hearing your story and your ability to heal yourself and just power on even more powerfully afterward is just so inspiring. So, thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, that's all. Thank you so much for having me and letting me share.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem. So, I'll be linking to Ashley Holick's Instagram in the show notes, and I look forward to getting to know you more and just hearing more about where you're going and where you're taking your story next. So, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.